Hello, everybody. I would like to introduce you to Professor Lisa Stewart. Lisa is a professor at Moorhead State University in Minnesota. And as you can see from the background, she is home officing today with the snow on her roof already here in October, which is not very thrilling for any of us. But Lisa has been at Moorhead State for a while, and she is also on the scholarship committee. And I think talking to somebody at the college about this whole test optional thing is something that many parents could appreciate. So that's why I want to bring you here today to talk a little bit and hear her insight as far as her thoughts on the whole test optional. So Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about your career at Moorhead State University?
Sure. So I'm a professor in school psychology and psychology at MSU-Moorhead, and I've been there for over 20 years, which is a little unbelievable, but and because I've been around for quite a while, they like to have faculty that have been there on some of these key university-wide committees. And so one committee that I'm on is the Scholarship Awarding Committee. And so I think that that's probably where I can bring the most insight, because we've had a lot of discussions with COVID about the test optional decision. We weren't involved with that in scholarship, but once the university made that decision, and we had to study what other universities had made that decision, and then also what to do then with our scholarships, because we've always traditionally used SATs and ACTs as part of that scholarship decision.
Right. And I think so many, what we're hearing about test optional in the news is saying that a lot of colleges and universities have gone to that, but many people don't understand there's beyond just the headlines, that some decisions are still being made, that those ACT and SAT scores can be beneficial and impactful. So definitely so. And so what has your committee talked about recently that you could share with parents and students about taking a college admissions test?
Sure. So first of all, I want to point out that even though it's still optional for admissions, I would still encourage it, especially if your student takes it and does well. I mean, I think it can still add to their resume and add to the admissions decision, even though it's not required. So I actually have a high school senior this year, and I heavily encouraged her. She's looking at a variety of schools, private, public, and I said, you should study hard and do as well as you can, because it can only help you even with admissions.
Mm-hmm.
So that piece. But as far as the scholarship piece, first of all, we've just been meeting a lot more than usual, and we've looked at like what are other universities doing, because all the universities are trying to figure this out.
Right.
The biggest issue is we offer like four to five tiers of scholarships, and we use it as a recruiting tool. And what's really difficult without the ACT would be distinguishing between like that top tier and the next one down to like that third tier down is particularly hard, because those students, once they have, like a 3.8 or higher, they look very similar. And we know that the difference between a 3.9 and 4.0 might just be how hard the classes were that they took. And so we don't want to differentiate just on GPA, but we need to differentiate to offer different tiers of scholarships. And so we still are, we can't require it even for the scholarship decision, but it will have a huge impact on those top three tiers. It's still part of our criteria. And when we looked at other universities, of course, to look at what they were doing, the same was true across both public and private.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine so. And it's not like the ACTs, obviously, or the SAT are the only things that are being looked at for scholarship, but it's an important part of the equation, like you said, to differentiate with all the strong students who are applying. And it's something definitely to consider for a family to, like you have with your own daughter, encourage, to take it. And it is the possibility that will definitely help her with admissions to get into sometimes a very tough school, even though they are test optional, because it adds to an academic resume. But, you know, as a parent to parent, we all know paying for college is something else on a whole new level, and not wanting our kids to be drowning in student debt. And so, you know, taking that, you know, around $60 test can pay off in a lot of ways. So great, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that insight, Lisa, because I think, again, there's a lot of people who just figure test optional means don't take it. And it can be very beneficial.
I would, as a parent and as a member of the scholarship awarding committee, I would say that is definitely worth doing and preparing well for it so that you do as well as you can, like always.
Right.
Yeah, it's something that you should have and in as part of your application and as part of your application for scholarships.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for meeting with us today. Stay warm and, you know, good luck the rest of the year.
Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Molly.
Yeah. Bye-bye.